Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear learners, students of intermediate class and alim first year and second year, welcome to my another class, and today I am going to discuss one of the most important poems named The Lake Isle of Innisfree, composed by W.B. Yeats. So dear learners, our today's topic, the most important poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree by W. B. Yeats. So dear learners, and today we are going to discuss the most important poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree by W. B. Yeats. Before going to discuss the poem, we have to know the following things. We have to understand the following things for better understanding the poem. So, at first, our aims and objective. At first, our aims and objectives. So, dear learners, we have to know about our aims and objectives. That means what we are going to discuss step by step. So, we have to know. At first, we have to know about the poet and his notable, remarkable works and contribution. And secondly, we have to read the poem, find out the difficult word, and try to gauge their meanings and synonyms on the context of the poem. And thirdly, we have to read and paraphrase the poem. Fourthly, we have to discuss the summary of the poem. And fifthly and finally, we have to write out the central theme of the poem. So, dear learners, these are the aims and objectives we are going to discuss step by step. So, be serious and take notes step by step. Our today's topic, the most important poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. Before going to discuss the poem, I would like to talk about W.B. Yeats, our honorable poet. So, dear learners, here W.B. stands for William Butler. So, dear learners, here W.B. stands for William Butler. So, the poet's full name is William Butler Yeats. He was born in 1865 in Ireland, and he was died in 1939 in France, but he was buried in 1948 in Ireland. William Butler Yeats is a modern poet. He is an Irish poet, dramatist, and critic, but not novelist. He is considered to be one of the leading figures of the 20th century literature. So, he is a poet of classicism, romanticism, and modernism. And frankly speaking, he had a great contribution in the field of Irish literary revival, and he is mainly famous for his use of symbolism and mysticism. He is mainly famous for his use of symbolism and mysticism, and his most remarkable lyrical poems are firstly, The Tower. Secondly, In the Seven Woods. So, dear learners, his most important lyrical poems are The Tower in the Seven Woods. First one is The Tower, secondly, In the Seven Woods, thirdly, The Second Coming. Fourthly, The Wild Swans at Cooley. Fourthly, The Wild Swans, The Wild Swans at Cooley. And fifthly, A Pair for My Daughter. Fifthly, A Pair for My Daughter. Fifthly, A Pair for My Daughter. So, dear learners, find out more about our honorable poet William Butler Yeats from Wikipedia on the internet. Find out more about W.B. Yeats from Wikipedia on the internet. So, dear learners, we are talking about the most important poem, the Lake Isle of Innisfree. So, now read the poem, find out the difficult word, and try to gauge their meanings and synonyms on the context of the poem. On the context of the poem. So, dear learners, so better to say this is the Lake Isle of Innisfree is a pastoral poem, is a pastoral lyrical poem, and it's a 12 lines poems comprising 3 quatrains, and it is mostly written in hexameter, and its rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF. So, dear learners, so now read the first stanza and try to find out the difficult word and gauge their meanings and synonyms. That means we are talking about connotation, denotation, annotation, and explanation. So, that means word notes. So, read out the first stanza. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. The first line. Arise. And then in Innisfree. In Innisfree. Here, arise means get up. So, get up from bed. And in Innisfree, allegorically, it refers to the land of the heart's desire and imagination of the poet. It also refers to a utopia, a country of the mind, in where one can live in peace, away from the din and bustle of everyday life or the modern world. And it's a little island. Innisfree is a little island on the Lake Lough Gill in Sligo of Ireland. So, better to say write down. So, dear learners, in Innisfree, it refers to the land of the heart's desire. A heart's desire of the poet. So, in Innisfree refers to the land of the heart's desire of the poet. It also refers to a utopia. So, dear learners, it also refers to a utopia. It also refers to a utopia, a country of the mind, in where one can live in peace, away from the din and bustle of everyday life. And it's really a little island on the lake Lough Gill in Sligo of Ireland. So, dear learners, we are talking about connotation, denotation, annotation, and explanation. That means we are talking about word notes. So, be serious and take notes step by step. So, then the second line of the first stanza, and a small cabin, built there of clay and what else made. Then cabin. So, dear learners, we know very well cabin means cottage or hut. So, dear learners, cabin means cottage or hut. It symbolizes a simple life. Then clay. So, dear learners, clay means soil. So, dear learners, here clay means soil or mud. And what else? What else means twigs or reeds? Twigs, Twigs, twigs or reeds, Reeds. So, the poet imagines that going to the Innisfree, he will build a small cabin, a small cottage, a small cabin out of clay and twigs or reeds. So, he imagines a very simple life. That means he imagines the rural self-reliance and a simple way of life. Then there learner, third line of the first stanza, 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee. So, dear learners, bean, we know very well the bean, a kind of vegetable, and hive, HIV, hive means the habitation of bee. A habitation of bees. So, dear learners, a hive means a habitation of bees. So, the poet thinks that he will grow. The poet thinks that in Innisfree he will grow a vegetable garden, a little vegetable garden with 9 bean rows planted there. And the place he will live will be sacred and purified of all the impurities of the world, and he will enjoy the humming sound of the bees in Innisfree. So, dear learners, then the fourth line of the first stanza, and live alone in the beloved glade. So, here live alone. Live alone means the poet wishes to live in solitude. The poet likes to live in alone, loneliness, or live in solitude. Then be loud. So, dear learners, be loud means the humming of the bees. Be loud means the humming of the bees. So, the poet thinks that he will live alone in Innisfree and will enjoy the humming of the bees. Then the glade. So dear learners, a glade means an open space, an open space in the forest. So dear learners, a glade means an open space. So dear learners, a glade means an open space, an open place in the forest. So the passionate desire for the glade, the passionate desire, the passionate yearning, the passionate desire for the glade fills the void and completes the picture, fills the void and completes the picture. So dear learners, now read the second stanza and try to find out the difficult word and gauge their meanings and synonyms. So read out. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow. So dear learners, dropping means falling. So dear learners, dropping means falling. F-A-L-L-I-N-G, falling. Dropping means falling. So the poet imagines peace. The poet imagines peace dropping down slowly, falling down slowly. We know very well there is no peace in this world made by tension and trouble, conflicts and struggles, disappointments and frustrations, slavery and suffering. But the poet thinks that he must have peace in Innisfree, and peace comes dropping down slowly. That means the poet imagines peace dropping down, falling down slowly, and peace comes in Innisfree slowly. Then the second line of the second stanza, dropping from the vales of the morning and to where the cricket sings, to where the cricket sings. So dear learners, dropping means falling, and vales of the morning, here we have to know the vales, V-I-L-S. So dear learners, vales in connotation, vales means fog or mist, F-O-G, fog or mist, M-I-S-T. So we know very well the morning remains covered with fog or mist. Peace prevails and descend down from the mist of the morning. To where the cricket sings. So dear learners, then the cricket, here cricket means a small chirping, winged insect. So cricket means a small chirping winged insect. So the poet will enjoy the chirping of the cricket in Innisfree. Then the third line of the second stanza, their midnights all a glimmer and noon a purple glow. So dear learners, the glimmer, G-L-I-M-M-E-R. A glimmer. Here glimmer means twinkle, T-W-I-N-K-L-E, twinkle or sparkle, S-P-A-R-K-L-E, sparkle or glow, G-L-O-W. So dear learners, glimmer means twinkle, sparkle, glow. So the midnight will be all glimmer and noon will be perpetually growing. And glow means dim light. Then evening full of linnet's wings. So, dear learners, then linnet, Linnet. So, dear linnet means one kind of singing bird, one kind of singing bird, one kind of singing bird. The poet thinks that the cricket and the linnet will keep him company and he will be living in complete happiness, complete peace, complete peace and happiness. And he will the sweet melodious music made by the linnet. And we know very well the linnet makes a fluttering sound when they come back to their nest. So the poet will enjoy the fluttering sound of the sweet fluttering sound of the linnet. So actually in the evening the sweet birds will sing melodiously and the poet will enjoy its melodious sweet music. Then the third stanza, so dear learners, then read out the third stanza of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. So read out the third stanza and find out the difficult word and try to gauge their meanings and synonyms. And better to say we are talking about connotation, denotation, annotation, explanation. That means we are talking about word notes. So be serious and take notes step by step. So read out the third stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. So dear learners, here lapping means washing. Lapping, Lapping. Lapping means washing. The poet hears the alluring sound made by the waves of the lake water, gently washing the shore, gently lapping the shore. So dear Lana, shore means bank of the river. Shore means the bank of the lake or river. Lake, Lake, lake or river. So I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. Low sounds means low sounds. Low sound means soft sound made by the lake water. Low sounds means soft sound made by the lake water. So the poet hears the alluring soft sounds gently washing the shore made by the lake water. So then the third line of the third stanza, while I stand on the roadway or on the grey pavements or the pavements grey, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavements grey. So dear learners, here the pavements grey, we should know the pavements grey refer to the pavements of London. PAVE, pavements, pavements grey, GRUI, pavements grey. So dear learners, pavements grey refer to the pavements of London. And we know very well that the pavements are the footpaths, which are usually commonly made of stone. So they look grey. So the poet always hears the call of Innisfree from the footpath of the busiest road or the grey pavements of London. Then the last line of the third stanza, I hear it in the deep heart's core, So dear learners, এখানে core here core means major, vital, central. So deep heart core, that means in his imagination, from the depth of his mind, the poet always hears the call of Innisfree. That means the poet always hears the alluring sound made by the lake water from the core of his heart. He always hears the call of Innisfree from the core of his heart. So dear learners, now read and paraphrase the poem. So dear learners, now read and paraphrase the poem. Before going to read and paraphrase the poem, I would like to analyze the title of the poem. The name of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. So dear learners, this is the title of the poem, this is the name of the poem. This title, so dear learners, the title refers to, we know very well, the title refers to allegorically, it refers to the land of the heart's desire of the poet. And it also refers to a utopia, a country of the mind in where one can live in peace, PESC. One can live in peace away from the din and bustle of everyday life or the modern world. So dear learners, we are analyzing the title of the poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. The title refers to the land of the heart's desire and imagination of the poet. The title refers to the land of the heart's desire and imagination of the poet. It also refers to a utopia, UTOPIA. It also refers to a utopia, a country of the mind in where one can live in peace, away from the din and bustle of everyday life or the modern world. So if we look at the title of the poem Innisfree, we'll see it's a little island on the Lake Lough Gill in Sligo of Ireland. So dear learners, from the analyzing of the poet, we can say that the poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree refers to not only the land of the heart's desire of the poet, but also a utopia, a country of the mind in where one can live in peace, away from the din and bustle of everyday life. In addition, besides, it also indicates a little island on the Lake Lough Gill in Sligo of Ireland. Now read and paraphrase the poem. So dear learners, now read and paraphrase the poem. Read and paraphrase the poem. Read and paraphrase the poem the Lake Isle of Innisfree. So, dear learners, the Lake Isle of Innisfree is a pastoral poem. It's a pastoral lyrical poem, and it's a 12 lines long poem with three quatrains. Its rhyming scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF. And it is mostly written in hexameter. So, dear learners, now read the first stanza and paraphrase. So, read out. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the beloved glade. So we see that the first stanza begins with I, that means first person point of view. That means the poet is describing his painful, passionate desire and intention, and it gives emphasis on the intention of the poet. So the first stanza reflects the poet's desire and intention. Actually, being fed up with the modern world, especially mechanical and artificial life, he wishes to go to Innisfree to enjoy the captivating sights of nature and all allurements of life. And going to the Innisfree, he will build a small cabin out of clay and reeds or twigs. Besides, he will also grow a little vegetable garden with 9 bean rows planted there. And he will live in alone, he will live in solitude, and he will enjoy the humming of the bees. And actually, the place where he will live will be sacred, holy, and purified of all the impurities of the world. And the atmosphere of that place will be mysterious, because the air will be filled with the idea of images and angels. And he will keep some bees who will supply him with honey. And the passionate desire for the glade fills the void and completes the picture. Then the second stanza. So read out the second stanza and paraphrase. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where cricket sings. There midnights all are glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. So we see that the second stanza reflects peace the poet wishes to have, wishes to get. Actually, there is no peace in this modern world, made by tension and trouble, conflicts and struggles, disappointments and frustration, slavery and suffering. But in Innisfree, the peace comes dropping down slowly. The poet imagines peace dropping down slowly. And in Innisfree, peace prevails and descends down from the mist and fog of the morning. And the cricket and the linnet will keep him company, and he will be living in perfect peace. There the midnights will be all glimmer, and noon will be perpetually growing, and in the evening the sweet birds will sing melodiously, and the poet will enjoy the sweet melodious song sung by the linnet and the cricket. Then the third stanza. So read the third stanza and paraphrase. I will arise. So it gives emphasis of the poet's desire that he cannot stay any longer in the city of London, which is full of din and bustle. Actually, London is a crowded city, which is full of din and bustle, noise and confusion. That's why the poet wishes to go back to the Innisfree to enjoy the captivating sights of nature and all allurements of life. So read the third stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. So the third stanza reflects the poet's homesickness. The poet cannot stay in the city any longer. He will soon arise and go to Innisfree, which is full of captivating sights of nature and all allurements of life. For all the time, in a dreamy manner, he goes on hearing the lake water striking at the shore and producing murmuring, sweet, melodious music made by the waves of the lake. And he always hears the call of Innisfree from the footpath of the busiest road of London or the grey pavements of London. And he always hears the alluring murmuring sound of the lake water from the core of his heart. He always hears the call of Innisfree from the core of his heart. So that's why he cannot stay any longer in the city of London, which is full of din and bustle, noise and confusion, shouts and bangs. So dear learners, now read the poem. So now read the poem and summarize the poem. So dear learners, let's summarize the poem. To summarize the poem. The poem is about the poet's desire and homesickness in order to find out peace and happiness. Being fed up with the modern world, the poet wants to go to Innisfree, which is full of captivating sights of nature and all allurements of life. Actually, the poet imagines the rural self-reliance and a simple way of life. So he wants to escape from the urban desolation and industrialism and also from the mechanical and artificial life to make a harmonious relationship with nature. Now the central theme, the central theme of the poem. Bond with nature, especially beauty of nature, inner peace and spirituality. Bond with nature, especially beauty of nature, inner peace and spirituality are the central themes of the pastoral lyrical poem, The Lake Isle of Innisfree, composed by W.B. Yeats. Actually, the poet imagines the rural self-reliance and a simple way of life. So he wants to escape from the urban desolation and industrialism and also from the mechanical and artificial life to make a harmonious union with nature. So dear learners, that's all for today. Thank you very much for your cooperation and coordination.